Hi, this is Aaron with Journey to Truth podcast. It's just me, not Tyler, right now. I'm here at Dimensions of Disclosure 2019 with the amazing Eric Rains.
Hello.
If you don't know who Eric is, just search him around the internet and you can find his stuff. He does Qigong and energy work, and he's amazing. So, how's it going, Eric?
It's going pretty good, man. I'm really enjoying what we're doing here. It's I just got done with that ancestral workshop, and can you tell how much the frequency of this place is different now?
Yes,
Like there's
I can.
a very distinctive sensation of lifting, and everybody is smiling and happy and joyous, and it's really actually an amazing event. Like there's a cleanliness, there's a purity to it. It's really beautiful.
It is. It is. When these events, when all these people come together, I've noticed, you're right, like you can just feel the energy, especially when it's people who are at a high vibration and are not bringing in any kind of negativity, which, usually is the case. Yeah, you can absolutely feel it, and it feels like this purity and this, this lightness is a good way to put it. And yeah, today especially, you're right. Like it's even more so I felt than even yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that's absolutely the case.
Well, and that's the thing, like with high vibration and low vibration causalities, we have, emotions that drag down, that are heavy, that just don't feel good, like anger and sadness and fear and stuff like that. But like what we've got right now is a whole bunch of like these souls that have come from different parts of the universe, who came to the planet for a very specific purpose, who, a lot of them are starting to meet each other right now, and there's like that soul connection and that understanding, and people are getting excited, and, there's that, you found your tribe, you found, that connection right there, and it feels really, really good, and that in and of itself is a very high vibrational state. And here we are in like right next to LA and the Hilton Hotel, and like it's not anything that even feels heavy. Like it feels really positive and upbeat and really beautiful here, and
it does.
It's transmutation.
Absolutely. Yeah. How has your experience so far been? I mean, obviously other than what we just talked about, but so you've already done your workshop, correct?
Yeah.
How did that go?
That was really amazing. So there were right around 30 people. I actually didn't get a count on how many who showed up. But what we did is we activated the bioelectric field so that they could feel their auric field, and then I showed them how to tap into high vibratory emotion. And then we used that to start creating sensations in the body and releasing places of trauma. And what this did is when you just release places that are dense inside of the body, there's a lifting effect. There's a raising of vibrational causality, and this comes with very specific physical sensations. And so what we did is that we then built those up to the point that they could tap into their mothers and their fathers, and then find the ancestral karmic patterns and the programs that come passing down, like those the sins of the father becoming the sins of the son type thing, that ancestral programming that it takes on generation after generation. And we went in and we cleaned it out, and then we found the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and then we held space with both of them at the same time. Nice. And people left with people were telling me at the beginning, like, I've got this shoulder that it's been hurting for the past 10 years. I had one guy, his hip was all messed up, and it's been throwing out his lower back, and he has to keep on getting it adjusted back in with a chiropractor. And like it's a constant game back and forth to play with it. I had people who they were experiencing like blockages in the solar plexus and causing like hypoglycemia and diabetes type issues and stuff like that. Everything like completely and totally disintegrated and let go. Like it was really an amazing workshop. Like when I came up with the concept for this workshop, I put a call out for volunteers that I could take everybody online through this class. That way I could kind of fine tune it before I did this one right here, which by the way, I'm going to still keep on doing these. These are going to be something that I offer like every other month or something like that. Because, man, the amount of energy clearing that can happen, not just inside of one person, but going back through time and space into places where people are dead. They don't have the option in their bodies to clean this out anymore. But since it's your genetic field, you can go back in and clean it out all the way back. And this cleans out so much, so much. And like, say for instance, there's a primary trauma wounding 50 or 60 generations back. That far back, we can look at all the downline, and you might be this branch of that family tree, but there's that whole entire other branch. And if you go back and you clean out that one right there, it might not have cleaned out the others that are separate from you, that's not in your genetic field, but it starts to dissolve the main primary wounding for that genetic line, and then it starts to release, and people start to feel things letting go. They start to, well, maybe I don't want to feel like this,
Yeah.
And it starts that awakening process.
So amazing that we can do that, right? Like things that happen so far back in the past of what we experience as linear time. Because when you understand time ultimately doesn't exist, everything's happening now.
Right now.
Exactly. That's how this is possible, and we can do it with our own consciousness. Like,
well,
it's amazing.
That's exactly why this space of right here and right now is such a gift.
Yeah.
That's why they call it the present.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's why it's called the present.
It's the present. It's the gift. It's right here, right now. We have access to everything.
Yeah.
All we have to do is just tap into the body brain.
So
and start
amazing.
Opening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. So with like qigong and working with the body, so how does that affect? What are the mechanics of that? How does that affect people's vibration and their health?
Definitely. So with qigong specifically, what you do is you mix the mind, the body, and the spirit into one fluid motion. And so, say for instance, if I were doing lifting this guy, I actually don't know if I can probably stand up, and even if people can't see my head, they could get it. So lifting this guy, what you do is you place your palms down, and you just turn your fingers in towards each other. And this is the physical motion right here. What I'm going to do is inhale, exhale. So that motion right there, that's just something where I'm focusing on my movement, and I'm getting it to flow with the breath. When you start moving motion with breath, it starts to make a connection into the muscle memory of the body. Now, what I'm doing with the energy here is, if you don't know what I mean by when I say move the chi flow, it's a feeling of high vibration, emotion, and light inside of the body. And so what I'll do is right here, I'll inhale like I have a smile right at the tip of the tailbone, and I'll inhale all the way up into the top of the head, and I'll make my head as bright as the sun right once I get to here. So. And then as I exhale, I pull down a column of light straight from source, right through me to flush into the earth, taking anything heavy or anything uncomfortable or sore with it. And so what I'm doing is I'm mixing the physical motion with the mind, the body, and the spirit all in one space. And what it does is it ends up opening up the meridian flow. And it's like you have passageways of energy that connect into your body that come from your fingers and your toes into your head and into the body. And they connect into the 12 major organs of the body. And so if that flow gets blocked, your organ isn't actually getting the energy that it needs to be fully healthy, to clean itself out, to rejuvenate if it's getting damaged and whatnot.
Yeah. And
so when you do this, it's like you're building up a flow, like a pressure inside of you that it forces its way through everything stuck. And then it just kind of drains out, and you lift up, you feel brighter, you feel cleaner, and it opens up those pathways. You get more flow, the muscle memory stops being tense and pulling bones out of alignment and causing pain, and then you clean out the organs. If your organs are healthy, you're healthy.
Yeah, it's amazing that like energy affects the physical body, physicality, but we're not, in the West, we're not really taught that. It's not in our mainstream paradigm, so it's like, we're not taught how reality actually works. Growing up here, and but once you figure that out, everything kind of makes sense, right? And you're like, oh, like that's it, yeah. And then once you start doing it, that's the proof there, because it does work once you do it. And obviously you've had hundreds of people that you've worked with, that you've helped. Thousands probably. Yeah,
I'm pushing 8,000 people that I've worked with
really?
So far.
Wow.
It might even be more than that with the classes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep it up, man, because you're doing some amazing work.
Well, I'm just so excited that what I can feel inside of myself, I can walk people through the pathway with my words, so that they can experience that emotion, that sensation for themselves. And then it's like I've just, I've taken a torch and I've showed them how to light it, and now they can go and light it themselves. They can feed fuel to the fire. They can make it brighter. They can make it stronger. And they don't need me anymore.
No, yeah.
You know? And that's what it's all about.
It's like teach a man to fish, or yeah, it's the whole give a man a fish, he'll feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and he can feed himself. Yeah, it's that whole, and it's. I remember you saying before, like, anyone can do this. I'm not special, you know. Like, I've just learned how this works and put it into practice. And you're like, anyone can do this. You guys can all do this yourself. And if you just put practice into it and do it, basically. So it's just something that needs to be taught, and you're out there teaching it and doing it.
This is physical education. This
yeah,
is what we should
absolutely.
be learning in school.
Absolutely.
You know, we need to understand not only why our bodies start finding themselves in pain, but more importantly, what to do about it. You know, and just simply even looking at the way that the body interacts with itself, you know, with the antagonist and agonist response of the muscles. So what this means right here, like if I'm going to flex my muscle and make that short right there, that pops the muscle up right there. But if you're looking, the other side has to get long. And if I go like this, the bicep lengthens out, and this side has to get short. And so you've got two sides to every movement right there. And what we see is posture. It shows us exactly what we need to start looking at. And how many people, you know, are hunched over like this or with their shoulders crunched forward like that?
Yeah.
You know, this right here, they'll feel pain back here on this side, but if you look at the way that they're being held, it's almost like somebody's got a hold of their shirt and they're twisting and twisting and twisting and just pulling it forward. And that's what's happening inside of the muscle memory underneath the skin on the front side. It's these muscles right here and these muscles right here that are contorting people into a fetal position, but what it's doing is it's starting to pinch the spinal column. It freaks out the backside and it starts trying to pull everything back. You end up with this weird tug-of-war game in the body.
Yeah.
And so you'll end up with people like, well, I'm not tense, but then you'll like touch like these crazy knots inside of you and it's like, oh man, that hurts.
Yeah, and you don't even realize you're doing it.
Because you're just holding yourself straight up. You
Yeah.
only notice it if one side got so tired that it let go, and the other side like a game of tug-of-war where it just pulled everything back and like everybody fell on their butt, and then all of a sudden pain. You know, you're pinching nerves, you're pinching all those ligaments inside of the body. You know, just even that simple perspective and understanding right there is more than enough to start getting you to recognize what you need to do. If you're like this, you need to go like this.
Yeah.
And that right there is going to open everything up, and like even just that perspective, it's enough to cause health inside of what we're
So even on a physical level, just how you're,
everything. We just got to look at it for what it is. Like the secrets are there, and all we have to do is just look at the obvious. Think about this one for a second. If we're hunched over like this, and yet we're experiencing pain back here, why? Think about this for a second. So if I were to just slug you in the gut...
At first glance, it doesn't make sense to us.
Well, you curl around that on the front side because it hurts, right?
If
it's back here hurting, how come we're not doing this thing?
Exactly, yeah.
You know, and it's stuff like that. That's why we have to start looking into, not the words, but we have to start going into the sensations, the feeling, and use common sense, you know? Like, if it hurts back here and yet the posture's saying there's something else going on, there's something else going on.
Yeah.
Go in and clean that out, and all of a sudden the pain goes away.
Exactly. And also, like, you talk about bringing awareness into your whole body rather than, most people are only up here.
In the brain.
And they don't have any awareness in their body, and they have all these problems and all these issues with different parts of their body. But as soon as you can bring your awareness into that and clear it out, and then that will allow you can literally make energy flow through your body, and that's what like Qigong does essentially.
And it's not like even a visualization, it's a feeling. And if there's something that's wrong here in this area, when you bring that awareness to the point to where you can heighten it so much that you can feel the individual muscles and the tendons and where it's held on and where it's tight, it's as simple as just telling it to let go by feeling almost like a Velcro dissolving inside of there and like the muscles turning into jelly. Like it doesn't understand words. I mean, relax. It doesn't get it. There's no ears there. Like my knee doesn't get that. But the feeling of
or thinking the word relax over and over, it's not gonna.
It doesn't get that because that's associated with something that we have given a connotation on the outside. This is an internal response right here where we inside say let go, not by saying it but by feeling it. You know, and that deep awareness right there is how we start bringing in so many different levels of understanding. And all we have to do is just start following the clues that are already there and it will lead us step by step by step by step right to where we need to be. Like I started doing all of this here by doing yoga and stretching and finding places that felt good inside of my body, and then just concentrating inside of those really intensely and just like, you know, what does this feel like? And that's what started this whole entire journey.
And yoga as well is another method of doing this. Yeah, absolutely. And it makes sense now that you look at like the Eastern traditions that go back thousands of years, and they've been doing all this stuff for a long time, and there's a reason for that, because it works.
Yep.
And then, you know, we're over here like, oh no, we gotta take a pill for everything, or I gotta go to the doctor for every problem, and it's almost like we try to cure everything from an external place instead of focusing internally where the real issues are.
Well, because what we're doing is we're giving the responsibility for our health to somebody else.
Exactly.
You know, and I refuse to give somebody else any responsibility for me, because I am a sovereign being, and so I take responsibility for myself. If I screw up, I screwed up because it's my fault that I screwed up.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I can't blame it on anybody else.
Exactly.
You know? And it's the same with my health. If my health is failing, it's because there's something that is keeping me from that homeostasis. And instead of looking at the symptoms of like, okay, well, I have a cough and I'm feeling my lungs are sore. Okay, well, instead of going in and trying to figure out why you are even having a cough because your immune system was compromised, we'll go in and kill the bacteria inside of the lungs and say, okay, well, it's good now. And so what we're looking how to do is, instead of just trying to fix the symptom, well, what's wrong with the lungs? How come they're deficient to the point to where this overloaded and they weren't able to clear themselves out?
The root cause of the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it's traditional Chinese medicine to the core.
Yeah.
It's not symptom-based, it's cause-based.
Exactly.
But at the same time, Western medicine works for what it works for. It's a trauma-based response. And so if I get into a car accident, there's no amount of that's going to help me out. I've got to get things sewed up. And
if I break my leg or some kind of...
But
something also, like that. It's great.
But they're also a hammer. So you know, if everything looks like a nail to them, they're going to hit it. And if I do have a nail, you better believe I'm going to go and get a hammer.
Exactly. It's a tool that is great for what its purpose is for. But when you try to use that one tool for everything, that's when we have a problem.
Exactly.
That's a great analogy.
And it's the same exact thing with the energy. We cannot sit here and say, well, I've done everything in my power to take care of this. Have you gone to the doctor? Have you gotten like some tests done? Do you know what your blood chemistry is like? Can you have anything concrete? Is there something that you can say, this organ right here is deficient? They're great for doing that. They're great for diagnosing those levels. And once you know, then you can actually take your conscious awareness in with the energetic levels and fix whatever's broken. But you know, it's
for diagnosing, but then as far as like,
well, fixing things, there's sometimes that it works better too.
Sometimes.
You know,
it depends. It very much.
Western medicine, it's something that I look at like a loaded weapon. It's something that you have to treat with respect and recognize it can blow up in front of you and it can really injure you. But at the same time, you know, it's a tool. And
if you use it properly, it's great,
But
which is like anything.
But just really make sure that you're backing it up with cleaning yourself out, because anytime that you have to put something not natural inside of your body, or you have to, you know, get an injury that's traumatic, get like cast in a bone, or put in a cast and splinted up, or anything like that, what we're doing is we're creating stagnancy in that area. And so it might, from a physical perspective, seem like the bone is now knit and healed, but now there's a whole bunch of crap in there that's not just physical. It's not just rotten blood and things that got stuck in the musculature. Now you've got the emotions around the pain and the fear of that injury, of that, oh, am I ever going to be okay? Is this ever going to get better? You know, like all that hopelessness that starts to build up around those types of things. Like, I can't do these things anymore. You know, like that right there gets stuck inside of it, and that's why the scar tissue never dissolves and turns back into muscle. Because scar tissue is literally nothing more than muscle fibers that are snarled instead of smoothly flowing.
Yeah, and that's a great point that you, like, our emotions affect our bodies and our health, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. And that's why so many people... Like, you can literally heal yourself through your emotions and and what we just talked about. But if you don't understand that, you can hold on to all this worry and this stress and anxiety and and then the problem's just going to keep getting worse or never go away.
Yeah.
Because you're not healing from within. You're not cleansing those emotions, which emotions are energy essentially. That's what emotions are. They're energy that you're holding inside your body.
Emotion. Energy. Emotion.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's in the word. Yeah. So it's so important, and so many illnesses and problems get caused by our own emotions that we're holding on to: stress, anger, worry, sadness, grief. And when we don't understand that, we can keep holding on to these things, and then we get sick, and then we get different problems, and we don't realize, like, we can do all the external healing or try to heal it in other ways, but if we're still holding on to that, it's not going to go away.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like that's the root cause, right? Mm-hmm. You got to clear that out first, and have a lifestyle change first.
The way that I show people how to clean those types of things out is, like, we have to know where it's at. But when you direct all of your attention into trying to push where it is and get it to move, you're coming from the same level of where that was created.
Yeah.
And so what we have to do is find a place where it's responding with something that's clean and powerful, and then build that up, knowing exactly where we're going to take it, and make that so strong that it's like turning on a sun inside of a dark room, and it has no choice but to let go. Yeah. And so yes, we do need to take care of that root cause,
but it's important how we go about that.
Yes, we can't fight these things. What we have to do is recognize, yes, this is stuck, I need to take care of this. I need to go find something that's so powerful and so beautiful and so clean that when it goes into this stuck space, it's going to be an afterthought of letting it go.
It just dissolves.
It just dissolves. Yeah. It's turning on a light in a dark room.
Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah, that's so huge. Awesome. Well, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Let's see. Is there anything coming through that would be really good for people to get an understanding for? You know, and this one comes up quite a bit, actually. You are so much more amazing than you give yourself credit for. Just by being inside of a human body, we have the potentials to transcend space and time to the furthest limits of the universe and beyond. We can literally create more universe just by existing inside of it. And this is the power of the human consciousness and the importance of being inside of the human body at this point in time right now. It's not about going home. It's not about getting out of here. It's not even about taking your consciousness into the mind and the spirit and working on that level. It's about bringing the mind and the spirit into the body and broadcasting it, shining the frequencies that you enjoy so much so that it changes reality around you just by you walking through it. It's like a sun in the darkness. And there's no amount of darkness that can affect the sun. None whatsoever. And so that's what we do, is we walk through reality and we transmute it as we go through, just because we recognize what we do and we don't enjoy.
Beautiful. That was beautiful. Yes. Awesome. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Eric, thank you so much for doing this with me. Mm-hmm. I would say interview, but it's really just been more like an awesome chat. Yeah, right? Which is my favorite. I love it when we can just kind of flow with the conversation and see where it goes. You are amazing. You're doing amazing work. Keep it up. And it's been a pleasure to
I am but a humble reflection of humanity, Aaron. Like, that's all I am. You know?
Yep. Awesome. Well,
thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.